If you are a young, sexually attractive woman who gets perhaps unwanted attention, you know that appearance matters. If you are Black in America, you know that image matters.
I didn't see anyone who had a visible disability in the mainstream media.
There are about 2 spots in a show for Black girls out of maybe 50.
The conventional ideal of a beautiful woman is a thin white woman.
As I'm getting older, I'm really noticing how the rest of society must feel from looking at these images of 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds as the ideal of beauty.
My understanding of Fashion Week in general is very limited because as a plus-size model, we are never really invited.
We've all kind of been brainwashed into thinking like these Eurocentric Caucasian features are what is attractive.
From what I've seen in my career in the last 9 years, generally fit models, most of the time they look like me.
There are things that I did to compromise my authenticity in order to get my foot in the door, such as straightening my hair, changing what I wore.
My first agent here changed my name from Precious to Victoria.
A lot of the times, designers and clients don't really know where to put me. They're like, is she white, is she Black?
I know that there is like a petite category, a plus size category, but there isn't, if any at all, a category for people with disabilities. I think I'm literally the biggest Blackest model at IMG. We need more people that have more power and influence to open their mind to different types of beauty.
I had one guy who wanted my nipples to look hard for the shoot to show through. He literally just grabbed my nipple and was like, see, we need it to be hard.
They would talk about my body in front of me. Like they'd say like, Julia's very wide. Everyone keep that in mind, like in a meeting in front of people.
One of my first test shoots in New York, we like drove out to the Hamptons and nobody told me that it was gonna be topless. So I shot topless on the beach and the poses he was asking me to do, and I have never felt so uncomfortable in my life.
Let me help you put lotion on your back, but I don't need help with that because I don't need you touching me.
I had this moment when I was like 20 or 21 years old, and I was like, I understand why Britney Spears had a meltdown and shaved her head, and it's like you get sick of people touching you.
Some people would say that people in the industry have confused being new and having a moment with age. Other people would say that adolescent girls have a sort of a pre-pubescent physique that is favored by designers. The fashion industry seems to have this obsession with extreme youth.
I was a 16-year-old. I was at Disneyland on a camp trip, and I had to rush to New York to shoot an editorial. Showed up to set, and it was S&M inspired, and it was just this like table of anything you could think of. It was whips and cuffs and various balls for various activities, and oh my god, I was just like bright red.
When I was young, I shot with someone who went to jail for pedophilia, so that was really difficult to hear because he shot a lot of young women.
I was at a casting yesterday that felt like a cattle call, and I was looking around and I felt like everyone must have been 16, 17, 18, and here am I, like past 25, really questioning, am I still beautiful? Do I still hold worth?
I think that too often models are trivialized and our concerns are dismissed because we're young women. People would not have been able to turn a blind eye if this were a male-dominated industry.
Fashion is becoming a little more diverse, but we still have a long way to go.
We have to tokenize in order to normalize, but I don't want this shift to be commodified as a trend. I want it to be a reality.
I think that women, they forget that they have consumer power, and if they stop buying into the women's magazines that are always like, lose 15 pounds in 2 weeks. Why do we have to do that?
I believe that everything starts with self-love, and that's what the decision to wear my hair natural really taught me. I'm a model, but I can also be a role model. Being a role model isn't about showing people how to look like you. Being a role model is about using your freedom to show other people it's safe to be themselves.
My imagery is my activism. Like, how could she like herself? I like myself. How could she wear that? I'm wearing it.
In my mind, I'm competing with like the Naomi Campbells and the Kate Mosses of the world just because why not?